In this video, we are going to discuss on how to install Spring Tool Suite and execute a sample Spring Boot application. For this, we need a Java 1.8 or later versions and Eclipse IDE. Okay, so and you might have installed Eclipse IDE already. You can open Eclipse IDE. In that, go to Help and look for Eclipse Marketplace. So now we are going to install Spring Tool Suite. In order to go to the Eclipse Marketplace and install this, your internet connection should be active. So you can search here Spring Boot and search on Go, click on Go. So you got Spring Tools Suite 4, release 4.6.0. So whatever the release, it could be the latest one you could install. Remember, again, you should have an active internet connection in order to install this properly. Okay, so I'm clicking on confirm. It will take a couple of seconds to process here. And you would accept the license agreement by reading that and click finish. So it is asking you that it is an unsigned content. So you could say install anyway. And once it's installed successfully, it's going to update that to your Eclipse. So it's restarting is better option. Okay, it restarted successfully. So our first goal has been successfully finished. So installation of Spring Tool Suite. Okay, and now we are going to discuss about how to execute a sample Spring Boot application. Okay, so for that, you could go to File, Create, go to New. You have to create a project. Okay, so in the past, we have created sample Java project or we have created Maven project. So now in the other, you have to go and look for Spring Boot. Okay, so you have to go and look for Spring Boot, which would automatically get the Spring Starter project. So the main advantages of Spring Tool Suite is, as you know, we might have to do lots of configuration files and properties, application properties files and all in order to develop a Spring Boot application. So in order to avoid, I mean, we still have to do some of those, but in order to avoid lots of stuff, we could go with the Spring Starter project. Okay, so which would automatically get the project from springio.com. Okay, so we will see that. So you could go to Spring Boot and click on Spring Starter project. So this service is getting from spring.io website. Okay, and I'm going to put a name, give a name of the project here. So I would say a sample demo. Or let's use a dog demo. Okay, so as you know, you might see that here com.example.something. So we know that group ID, artifact, and version are the three things that would be able to give it in the Maven projects. So what we will be doing here is, so instead of example, we create our own group name. Okay, so that could be of anything. I just kept Bundy classes, and artifact is nothing but my project name, and the version number is whatever the version number that you want to give. Okay, So here the description is up to you. This is a demo of demo project for a Spring Boot application. Okay, so and this is a package name. This is how you are going to see com.bundyclasses.demo1. Okay, so instead of demo1, you could be able to give doc demo if you want to see that. Otherwise, you could leave it like that. So here you could do Maven or Gradle. So since we discussed about Maven in our classes, so let's go with Maven and Java 8 or later versions. So I think you already installed with 1.8. So let's go with 1.8 here. Okay, so we are going to use a sample doc demo. Click next. And you may not be able to see all these frequently used because I have used some of those earlier. You may not be able to see. We will come back to this in our next demo, what you would be able to see. Okay, you could click next or finish. Okay, so with that, you have created a Maven Java project that uses Spring Boot. Okay, so here you can click the project, you can click here for the project structure. That project structure would look like this. So you have source, main Java, resources. And this is kind of a Maven structure that you already have seen in our previous classes. Here, if you notice, we have Bundy classes doc demo, and we already have a main class that would automatically generated, which is main method. Okay, so this is public class doc demo application, and if you notice, we have an @ annotation. Okay, @ annotation, which refers to the Spring Boot application. We have a main method, public static void main, and in this we used Spring application dot run and demo application dot class, and you're passing arguments. Okay, so we are not creating any objects here or anything. We are using Spring application class and we use a run method. Okay, so as you know, Spring application is a class, and we are not creating any objects. We are calling it as a class name, so which is kind of a um, similar to our math class. So that uses dot run and doc demo application. Okay, so I'm not doing anything other than executing a little bit. I would say hello, Spring Boot, and maybe goodbye, Corona. Okay, so basically, I just printed sample output statements. Okay, so we will see how we would be able to execute that. So I used executing that. Here you got either Java application or Spring Boot application. Since we have done this with Boot, Spring Boot, so you have to use Spring Boot application so that you would be able to get all the backend stuff that uses Spring Framework. Otherwise, it would be a simple, regular Java expression, a Java application. Okay, so this one. Okay, so whenever you run or execute a Spring Boot application, you would be able to see Spring and then some of the statements here and the actual output that you are expecting. Okay, so another way that you can run this program as well is you could use run as, right click, run as, and use Spring Boot app here. Okay, so you could do in both the ways. You might already know that thing. So with this, we have successfully installed a Spring Tool suite and we have executed a sample program. So as I said, you have to be able to have a proper internet connection, at least in order to install successfully and even in creating the project. Otherwise, you may not be able to see some of the group ID, artifact ID, those details. Let's say if you have any kind of errors that you would see, you always can go back and uninstall whatever you have installed and reinstall. For example, we have installed this one, right? So you could always go back to what install tab here, and you could see what you installed, and you could see here uninstall option. Okay, and you could say confirm, it would be uninstalling for you. Okay, so I'm canceling here because I'm not going to uninstall. Okay, so with this, we have successfully finished how to install STS and execute a sample Spring Boot application. Okay, thank you.